So I'll say this is my Jenkins image. Yeah, we are doing the centers. Same thing like what we did, just create one image and make sure that it's around 4 GB, 3.7 GB RAM. Anyone can do it. But let's see. How we do this. We are going to have a we don't have any user. So let's see the particular position. You will not copy the password. We will not copy anything. So we have to make sure that you copy all this. You will not take a photo. You should. Because we need to go in the root access, then you need to enter the corruption. Because this is completely owned by Jenkins Class. So when you're creating, right, make sure that you copy that path. Yeah, if not, you can carry on the same thing like I'm doing right now. So my Jenkins is on this machine, right? It's just a bare machine. We'll do the same particular process, everyone. So make sure like you're following up the same particular instance, right? Let me log into the machine first. So I'll say SSH Ravi at specific IP. Yeah. AWS లో ట్రై చేయకండి బికాస్ యూ నీడ్ అట్లీస్ట్ 4G 4.5 GB 4 GB ర్యామ్. AWS లో మీకు 4 GB ర్యామ్ ఉండదు మెషిన్. ఇట్ విల్ బి లైక్ వెరీ కాస్ట్లీ ఫర్ యూ. మినిమమ్, యా, దట్స్ వాట్ ఐఎమ్ ట్రైంగ్ టు సే. You don't have Google? Okay. Because it's costly. If you are paying for 4 GB in AWS, right, it's almost like around 2,500 rupees something. Yeah, that's why. Right, and so we'll begin with the first phase. I mean, like the prerequisites first. So what I'm going to need for my prerequisites, we need to install Java, uh, Git, Maven. So these are good enough for present scenario. So we'll set up these three and Jenkins. Then we'll implement other scenarios as well, one by one. Yes. I mean, like you can use that one if it's because the problem would be we install lots of things in that, right? So it would become somewhat slow. Yes, we are separately creating Jenkins. Why? Because I told you, right? We have something called like master and slave configuration, right? At that time, we'll run. No, yes, it may be possible. Let's say if you want to build that on that particular machine, right? Yes, it's possible. If you want, you can go that as well. Right? So let's say first I'll go and set up the Java. So everyone do the same thing. So I'll say yum hyphen by. So what you can do is like instead of setting Java, you can simply say Maven directly. Maven will by default get the Java installed by itself. You don't need to specifically go and install Java. Maven, yes. Because the prerequisite for Maven is Java. It will fetch Java and it will install it automatically. So if you see, right, now if I say Java is not installed, even Java C is not there. So I'll directly say this particular Maven. It's going up and it's downloading it. Okay, you see it went and it installed Java as well on the top. Java 1.8. It's installing your Java 1.8.0. Right, okay, now if I say Java C, yep, it's there. Java is there. If I say MVN, yes, everything is good and ready. So everyone, you're having all these three with you, and make sure you have the Git as well. So I'll say install Git. Right. So I have Git, Maven, Java, everything good with me. Next, I need to go with my Jenkins repo, right? So search by yourself. Go to that particular yesterday's directory. Just say Jenkins repo. Yes, you have your Red Hat repo here. So yesterday I have did something wrong here, right? So I'll do the correct thing today. So I'll just copy it up and I'll say Red Hat hyphen stable, right? I think we don't have wget sudo yum y install wget. You see now I'm going with Red Hat stable. And make sure that you are going with the stable version, everyone. Yes, then I'll import the key. So I'll just copy up this key and I'll say install the key rpm hyphen import that particular key. Two steps which you got in your Jenkins page. So these two steps are done. So this particular tool needs to be done and go with the stable version. Any problem? Right? Okay. So everyone till this step done. I mean, like you imported RPM and make sure that RPM key is there with you. These two steps. Then I'll say yum-y install Jenkins. Key. This one. Just like copy and outlet. నా అంతే కీ ఏం రాదు జస్ట్ లైక్ అక్కడ వెళ్ళి లోపల సెట్ చేసేసుకుంటుంది అంతే అది అవసరం జస్ట్ లైక్ కీ అది ప్యాకేజ్కి కీ అది మనకి కింద వస్తుంది కదా అప్పుడప్పుడు మనము ఆర్పిఎంస్ ఇంపోర్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఈఎస్సి కీ ఒకటి వస్తుంది సో బేసికల్గా మనం ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఎక్స్టర్నల్గా యాడ్ చేస్తాం అండ్ now I'll say sudo yum-y install Jenkins. You see, actually, yesterday I got 2.8 dot some version, 2.8.8, but as of now, I'm getting the latest version, which is 2.73. But yesterday I did not give that stable, right? That's the reason why I got something like 2.8.8. So I'm going with the stable version right now. Right? Everyone done till here? So everyone installed and it's ready, right? So let's start the particular service first. Sudo. You can use something called like service as well, if you remember. Systemctl service. So I'll say service, not HTTP, right? What is this? Jenkins. Start. Right? It said it started your particular Jenkins. Right? So let's go and check with the netstat. Okay, this is not installed. Sudo yum-y install net-tools to get my netstat with me. So I'm just installing the nettools so that I want to use the netstat command. Alright, once this is done, I'll be able to do the netstat-ntpl. Yes, it's listening on port 8080. Make sure that everyone is getting this particular results. Net-tools. Right. Now, once this is done, so let's go and browse it. So I'll take the IP address of this machine. This is my IP address, right? I'll take it up and I'll say :8080. That is where my Jenkins is up and running. So I'm taking it up. And you see, so this is what I was telling. So it will be stored under this location. Make sure that this password is there with you. Tomcat? Yeah. Start Tomcat. If not, change that particular thing. If not, just stop your Tomcat. Go to tomcat./shutdown.sh. So I'm copying it up and go to your terminal and grab that password. So it would be sudo access. You need to go with the sudo access. Sudo vam. That's the password which I have. So everyone should have your own passwords over there, right? Copy that particular password. Right. How it level? లేదంటే డైరెక్ట్గా ప్రాసెస్కి వెళ్ళేసారు. ప్రాసెస్కి వెళ్ళేసేయండి. దాని లోపలికి వెళ్ళి స్టాప్ చేసే బదులు నెట్ స్టార్ట్ హైఫన్ ఎన్డిపిఎల్ అని కొట్టినప్పుడు అది వస్తుంది కదా, 8080 ఒక నంబర్ వస్తుంది కదా సైడ్లో, 8080 ఒక నంబర్ వస్తుంది కదా, ఆ నంబర్ కాపీ చేసుకుని సూడో కిల్ -9 ఆ నంబర్ పేజ్ చేసి షట్ డౌన్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఓకే సార్, ఎనీథింగ్ ఏదో. Right, so I'm copying up that password. I am going here and I'm setting that admin password here and just going with continue. And like I told you, go with the install the suggested plugins, right? Go up and it will install all the plugins. Starting or starting? Yeah. Right, now make sure, now if you say continuous admin it will not create that user. That's the reason why always make sure you create one particular user over there, right? So let's say I'll put something like admin for me and give some particular password and make sure that it is strong. Don't give something like admin. You give admin, fine, okay, you can change it once you log in. What happens is, because this is public IP addresses, right? Like I told you, there is something called like DDoS attacks. So what they'll try to do is like they'll scan all these public IPs. They'll see what are the ports open. If someone sees like it is open on 8080, they will obviously know like whether it's your application server or something like Jenkins or any CI/CD server particularly. Now they'll try all the combinations, admin 1 2 3. So they keeps on hitting. That's how they block your instances, Google. Right? Always make sure you're keeping some strong passwords. One lowercase letter, one uppercase, one number. That's always best choice. If not, your account will be suspended actually. That Google account. Yeah, no problem. I'll show you like once you log in, right? You can change the passwords, no problem. Right? I'll use the same particular password. Let's see. Let's say admin and admin at gmail.com. Some particular email address for it. Right? Any email. It's up to you. You can use any email you want. Right? I'll say save and finish. Right? And I'll say start using Jenkins. So everyone reached till this point? Yeah, sure. For this particular admin only, yes. So in real time, what we do is like once you do this, right? You'll click on this user, then you'll say configure. Actually, at the time of doing credentials, right? You use this one actually. I'll show you like how to use these particular things. At the time, we will use this particular thing to actually go and work on your what do you say, master slave configurations and everything. Yes, sir. Yes. So if I say log out right now, I'll give the same username, admin, and the password which I have given. No, no. It is same like authentication. That's it. Normal like your Gmail kind of thing. Sorry? Yeah, ask, no problem. The name which you have given. I have given a name called admin. Just go to this specific user, click on here, say configure. I mean like click on admin, say configure. You see, this is what the name I have given. Change it over there. Right, that's the you. Right? Okay, fine. Good. Bro, ready? So everyone is right? Everyone has your Jenkins up and ready. Now let's see what we'll do is like we'll go and yesterday we have seen one sample job, right? Just it was doing something like going and fetching your RAM space, these kind of things we did. Now let's see how you can work on some. So we already worked on LAMP stack. So nothing but what it does basically, it will create a web server, we'll put some website data and you'll be running up there. Now let's see how we'll do the same thing with your Jenkins. Right? So let's say what I'll do is like I'll create a new job. So everyone knows right why we are using jobs. Nothing but you want to run some particular task. Right? So let's say I'll go with some job here, and let's say this is my website test. Something like my website test, and I'll say a freestyle project, and I'll say okay. And let's say this job deploys a website to Apache web. So, right. So basically, the job which I'm going to configure, what it does means it will deploy one website to your web server. Right? But where is your website? Anyone has any websites? So what you'll do is like just use this one. So go to github.com, right? Just say slash Ravi to Krishna and do something like food. Just click on like this. Just say Ravi to Krishna and food on your Google browsers. Everyone. Actually, this contains one website over there. No, any website which is there in your GitHub. Because we'll be connecting GitHub, right? So I want to connect my GitHub to do the work here. Right? Choose github.com slash Ravi to Krishna slash food. Right? Everyone can see this page. Right? Now, generally, if you want the project, what we did earlier, git clone. Right? Git clone is what we used to do it over there. Right? I'm copying it up. Right? Now, I'll go to this particular website job. Now, what is the process of setting up your websites? So, you already worked with our LAMP stack, right? So, what is the process? First, we need to install Apache web server, which is HTTPD package. Once you install it, next what I need to do? Start the service. Once I started it, we need to deploy that particular website. I mean, like copy that into document root var www html. Now you have all these pre-required steps, right? So we'll go with the same prerequisite steps to install your website called food into this particular, what do you say, this IP address, to my IP address, right? So what I'll do is like, now you see source code management, because your project is in GitHub. I'll say git, and this is the URL. That is my public repository actually. That's why everyone can use it. If it's private repositories, right, you need to go and give the credentials here. You'll click add, you'll say Jenkins, and you'll give the username and password of your Jenkins user account. Not Jenkins, sorry, GitHub accounts. If you have any private repositories, right? Currently it is public, like I don't need to bother about this. So I said this is the one thing. And what is a branch? So currently all my particular code is there in master branch itself, and I have only one branch. If you have different branch, then you need to go and change this one here. You'll say a dev branch, right? If not a bug fix branch, any particular branch which you want to use it up, right? Now you can do it in two ways actually. So either you can choose this way. So what it basically does, it will copy your entire website into workspace directory, right? Now let's say if I say save, so it is where your particular project is going to be there, right? But where is this particular location is generally present? Now this is always present in this one. So let's say sudo ls slash var lib Jenkins. You have something called like jobs slash jobs. It says the list of jobs, website test, and under that you have website test. Now that is where your particular files which are coming from GitHub will be stored. You want, you can do in this way. If not, you can directly use some shell script and do the task, right? Maybe first I'll show you how to do with the shell script, then I'll show you how you can do with the same thing with your Jenkins as well. All right, so I'll just keep it in that, and then like I'll use the same particular settings. I'll say configure again. So you have your particular git site here. Now what I need to do actually, I will go with the build step, because that is where I'm doing the task, right? So I'll say execute shell. Now what's the first thing you need to do? Install Apache, right? So what I'll do is like sudo yum -y install httpd, right? Next sudo systemctl start httpd. Now this is going to start your Apache, right? What I'll do is like I'll use something like this because it is difficult to see, right? So I'm saying sudo yum -y install httpd, then I am starting my httpd. Once you started, what's the next thing you need to do? You are going to deploy the web application. I mean like that particular websites. Now what I'll do is like git clone this one. URL, yes. So I copied the wrong thing. So I'll go and I'll copy this URL. Git clone. Where to clone? So I'll say clone it to /var/www/html. Making sense? Everything in one line, make sure, right? Git clone that particular URL followed by /var/www/html. Right? I'll copy the same thing and I'll go to my build steps and I'll update it. So I'm saying clone this particular thing to var/www/html. Now you need to go with the sudo access because you are working on var, which is not your location, right? Sudo git clone this particular location. Now let's see what happens, whether we get that particular application or not. If we get any troubleshoot, then we'll fix how we can go and do those particular tasks here. So I'll say apply and save, and I'm going to build the job. Let's see what error it throws. According to that, we'll troubleshoot the things, right? So I'll say build now. Let's see what it does. Okay, it has already given me some error. Let's see what it says. Yep. Right. Now you see what's happening actually here. Can anyone tell me with this error? So what I'll do is like so here, right? So actually the error, so already it committed. So it was able to definitely pick from my GitHub. It was successfully able to pick the changes. But once I started this particular command, I got this error. So when this particular command is being run, it says this error. Just tell me what I need to do now. How you are going to troubleshoot right now. Okay, so Krishna Gandhi is telling like I need to give some username and password. And what else, anyone? Git? No, it did not go for Git, right? So there was no error for Git. It was in my first step itself. Installing only failed. No need of TTY actually. So now you need to make sure who is running this process, isn't it? Right now you are getting everything, right? Actually, this particular what you say entire console, everything. I mean, like this interface is given by Jenkins user. So git clone installation, who is doing that? Which user? Jenkins only, right? Right. This task is being done by Jenkins user in the backend. But if I say, what is the thing I am giving? Sudo. So Jenkins is trying to run like a root sudo user. But if I need to go and say ID Jenkins, is he sudo user? Making sense? So he's just a normal user. He's not having the access. What's the next thing I need to do? Give the access for this user the sudo. No need of ch1. So most of you are working on Google Cloud machines, right? What is the what do you say sudo group here? I mean like sudoers group. No, in Google Cloud you don't have wheel. Wheel is in your these machines, virtual box machines. The same wheel here it is called. Now see, Ravi is there, right? I mean like your email logins. Give your email, say ID. I'm giving Ravi. Give your usernames, ID and your usernames which you logged in with. ID and the username which you logged in. What are the groups you are getting? So you are part of something called like Google Sudoers, which is like wheel group in Google Cloud Computing. Right? Making sense? Bro, అర్థమవుతుందా? కాదు ఇప్పుడు ఐఎమ్ లాగ్డ్ ఇన్ లైక్ రవి, రైట్? బట్ ఈ జాబ్ ఎవరు చేస్తున్నారు యాక్చువల్గా? Jenkins, right? Because the process was Jenkins running. But if you say ID Jenkins, which user root it belongs to? Only Jenkins. But Jenkins కి ఆ పర్మిషన్ ఉందా? sudoers పర్మిషన్ లేదు. బట్ నువ్వు లాగిన్ అయిన యూజర్తో నువ్వు sudo ఇస్తే రన్ అవుతుంది. రైట్. ఇప్పుడు నీ ఐడి ఇచ్చి ఆ యూజర్ నేమ్ లెట్స్ జానకిరామ్ అని ఇచ్చావు అనుకో, ఎందుకు వస్తుంది? హీఈస్ అ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ గూగుల్ సుడోవర్స్. If you also add your Jenkins to this Google Sudoers, he will be able to do the same task. Right? So how are you going to add it? Command for that you need to tell me. User add. What is user add does? What user add does? Users. But are you adding the user? Jenkins already is present. User mod, because you are modifying the information. Right? Sudo user mod. Now I need to add it to secondary group. What is the thing I need to say? Right. Hyphen A secondary group. Right? Which group I want to add? Google hyphen SUDOERS. Google Sudoers. User, what is the user I want to add? Jenkins. Making sense? Now we got three kinds of users, right? Normal users, which we created. Right, that is Ravi. We have system users. Who are system users? System users are the ones which get installed when you install certain applications. Now if I say cat slash etc password, if not sudo vim slash etc password. See, I'm having lots of root user. If I go down, I got games user, FTP user, NTP user, cron, and Ravi as well. These are my user created accounts. You have something called like system accounts, which generally get installed when you install particular applications. Right? Now I'll go and I'll add the Jenkins user to my Google Sudoers. Yes, now if I say ID Jenkins, yes, he is a part of Google Sudoers. Making sense now? Everyone here? So why? Because my Jenkins is trying to do some sudo access there, because he's going into this particular thing, he's starting web servers, right? That's the reason why I have given the access to that particular user. Fine, everyone clear till here what we did? Now let's go back and try to run the job again. So I'll go back to my project and I'll say build now again. Let's see if it throws any error again. Okay, it still is throwing some error. Okay, it says we trust you. It locally boils down. Okay, fine. You see, the problem here is, now you need to tell me what's the error again. So we fixed one more error, but you got another error here. Yeah. So what's the meaning of that? Yeah, TTY is missing, which means login console is missing for him. Right? TTY means that only, right? You are getting some access to log into that specific machine. Now, you need to tell me here now. So I'll go back to my console. So let's say vim slash etc password file, right? This is where my entire user information is there. If not, I'll do something like this. Tail slash etc password file. So I'll copy the last two users and I'll put that in my text file here. You see, this is my user called Ravi. Now when I was running with Ravi, I'm not getting any specific errors. Why? It says, what is the login shell for this guy? Bash. Bash is nothing but you are getting some terminal to work, right? But what is the terminal for Jenkins user? What is the meaning of bin false? He does not have any console. He does not have any bash. That's the reason it's telling no TTY. How we are going to fix it? Anyone? Just try it out. Any? Sorry? Protocol. Very simple, right? Isn't it? If I give bash, it means it will get that particular console access. So I'll go back to my CLI mode. Then I'll say sudo vim/etc password file, and I'll go to bottom of the page, and I'll change my bin false to bash because I want to give the access to that specific user. Everyone change it to bash, then only you will be able to have the access to the particular thing. Right, you are able to change the changes. Now I successfully changed it to bin bash. Now let's go and run the particular job again. Let's see if we get any error now. Let's build now. I'm still getting the error. You are getting the same error. You're also getting the error. So let's check out. You should not get that error actually. I'll say sudo su. You got different error. So I'm in Jenkins actually. It's also running. Right. Because I changed the information, right? I need to restart my Jenkins. That's the thing which we are missing actually, because I went and I modified the user information, right? On the global level, that too, right? So see, in the backend, I was able to do that with the Jenkins user. See, right now, if I say pwd varlib Jenkins, that's the user I logged in with, right? So let's say I'll do logout, exit, and I'm back to my Ravi user. So I'll say sudo systemctl restart Jenkins. I'm restarting the Jenkins. So how was I able to trigger that out? Basically, I logged into the Jenkins user. I'm running the command with the sudo access there. It ran successfully. Then it means something might have not been affected over there. So we are just restarting it, right? So that's how you need to actually troubleshoot as well, right? So let's go and back to my project, and I'll say run again. Yes, it's restarted. I'm logging into my machine. I'll say build now again. Yep, now it's success. Alright, if I say blue one, and yes, it says, yep, it installed, it started, it cloned, it was success. Alright, so everyone try to go and check the IP address whether you are getting the Apache page or not. So if it's successful, right, you'll be getting that Apache page here. Sorry, that food page which we did. Everyone getting it up? Right? Any problem? So everyone tried. I mean, like, you were able to successfully run that, but you're not getting it. Okay, it's loading. Okay, no fine. Right? So I understood, right? So basically, whatever the task which we did earlier in our LAMP stack class, we did the same thing, but we went and we did lots of these particular things. Now, what happens if you want to change the website? So let's say generally your web developers will work on this kind of applications. I mean, like websites developing and everything, right? Where is that code generally? This code is coming from Git, right? Now, I want to continuously make those changes which is happening in my GitHub to affect here. We need to schedule cron. So what is a cron type of feature in Jenkins? Scheduling. So what is the option for that? Build triggers. Right? Build triggers is the option which we need to choose. So yesterday what I did the same thing, right? I went to the build trigger, I set up that particular cron schedule. Then it kept on running for particular instance of time. Now what I'll do is like, I'll go to the same particular projects. Now I'll say configure my project again. You see, for 4 GB also it's very slow actually. Okay. So I'll go to the build triggers option. And I'll say build periodically. Right? So I want to check the changes for every 1 minute. Right? Now I'll say apply and save. So this job will run for every 1 minute, isn't it? Now, if I want to change something on my website, where I'm going to change it? No, that's wrong thing, right? That's what we need to understand. If you change it, it's static, isn't it? It should dynamically fetch it from your GitHub, right? Because developers, they work in their machines, push it to GitHub, right? So I'll go here. So this is my website, and you see, you're getting something called like foodie love here. So what I'll do is like I'll see where it's coming from. Actually, I'll inspect it. So I'm actually getting it from index.html saying something like foodie love, right? So I'll go here. So I'll go to my index.html page. So I don't want that foodie love. Let's say command F, and it says FOO. Right, you see, this is where actually it's coming up from, foodie love. Now let me change it here. So what I'll do is like I'll edit the page. Right, I'll say command F. Right, foodie love, right? So let's say I'll say Jenkins law. Right? If not, I'll put something like I'm putting something like love Jenkins here. So you cannot change it. You'll not have the access directly. Only I have the access for this because I logged in, right? You won't have the access. Don't try to change it there. Right? So until and unless I add you like collaborators, you cannot go and work on it. Right? So what I'll do is like I'll go and commit the changes. So I'll say change to love Jenkins, right? And I'll say okay. Now even I cannot do this because I was not logged in here. See, it says propose file changes. If not, it should say something like commit the changes, right? So what I'll do is like let me log in first. Our GitHub. If not, I can make you add like collaborators. Let me sign out. So let's say I log in. Let's say to Krishna. Right, I have my food websites. Now I'll go to index.html. I'll say edit. I'll search for foodie. Right, I'll change it to something like Jenkins. Now you see, I'm going and committing the changes. I'm saying updated Jenkins. And I'm committing those changes right now. Right? Now, if I do like this, what was the earlier method we did? I used to clone that again to var www.html, right? I used to update those things every time there. But am I doing it right now? So I scheduled that job right? So let's see if it's running. So let me refresh it. So you see, it already went and failed for 8 times. Let's see if it does for the 9th time. See, let's check for the 9th job, what it does. If not, let's see. Yeah, even it failed. Like, what's the error? Let's see what's the error it says. And what it says? It's already installed. Now, what is the next thing you are going to tell me? So, you are the one who needs to troubleshoot, right? That should be. We did not need to comment it, right? Yes, we need to redeploy actually. So, redeploy is nothing but removing the older one and putting the new version, right? So, what is the step I need to say now? I'll go to configure. Now, tell me what I need to say. Not uninstalling. Remove actually, right? Whenever build is happening, it should remove the older version. It should clone the newer version. That's what it should happen, right? So I'll say sudo rm-rf slash var www slash html slash what's the right not index, but there are like other couple of files there actually. You see, yes, no, it will not install. Check the message, it says it's already installed, right? Now you see you have like other multiple files here, right? If not, how you can check it? You can simply go to your this console. Let's say ls-l slash var www html. This is where it's keeping all these assets. How to remove all this? Sudo rm-rf slash www html. What happens if I do that? That's what all I need, right? Clean it, keep back the project again, right? That's what I did here, isn't it? You see, I went there, I'm cleaning up, again cloning into the same thing. No, it won't overwrite because that basically is not your own directory. That is owned by Apache user. var www.html. If we create now, if you create your user defined, right, that you need to make sure that change in the httpd.conf path. So what you can do is like you can create one particular template for your what you say httpd.conf and copy that every time you are deleting these particular things. If not, you need to do in that way. That's where actually your powerful feature of chef comes. Now I mean like you'll get to see like one by one. Okay, what is the disadvantage if I go with Jenkins like this? How can you efficiently use chef in that scenarios? Right? Now I'll say apply and save it up. See, all my builds were failure. And if I go to back to my dashboard, and you see whenever something goes wrong, right, you'll see something like this. If your builds are working perfectly, you'll see that yellow color sun. Means everything is good. If it's something like that, it says build stability, all the recent builds got failed. Right, let's go and check right now. So my 12th build, 10th build, everything is failed. So advantage of Jenkins is you don't need to go do that same thing again and again. If you set it up once, right, now any changes happening, it will automatically pick it up itself. Instead of you are doing that everything manual. Right? Even 13 failed. Okay, let's see what the error says. Remove it, then we did clone. But let's see. Let's check for 1 minute. I need to restart my. It was able to clone, but I'm not getting the files there. Let's see what's the error here, but it's clone it up, right? Let's go to this particular thing. So it says start HTTPD. We are removing everything. We are cloning it up. Folder pattern. It says destination path already exists and it's not an empty directory. It says it's not an empty directory, but actually you are getting empty directory here. Why is that so? Let's go and fix something. So instead of this, I'll show you how to do that in a better way. Not this one. So I say build now. Or www.html. HTML. If not, I'll try to go to the incognito. It's not taking up. So why it's not able to clone? Will we give the correct address? So saying GitHub, clone it up. ctl restart.html git clone to var www html. Acha. Okay. This is actually empty. ls hyphen la. You see, that's the problem actually, right? So what I'll try to do is like rm hyphen rf slash www html dot git sudo. Now let me run the job again. Yes. So understood? I mean, like, this is how you need to go. You need to see the problem from every particular thing. So it was correct only. It was telling like, it says there is something is there which is not empty. Dot git was there because we are cloning it directly from there, right? That's the reason it was not able to pick it up. Now I need to go and modify in such a way that it removes that file as well. Yes, dot git. See the particular this thing. So I'll say, right, that's correct only actually. So I'll go to my build here and I'll say this one. Yes, it says success. Now it's working perfectly. See, all the builds are getting up and running. Now if I go to my particular thing and if I do a refresh, yes, I have love Jenkins. rm hyphen rf. Okay, we need the command, that one. Dot git. Sorry? There is no LA. ls hyphen LA. So I'll just copy that script here. So I'm just copying it up and I'll put it here. Let's check it out. Right, this is what you need to do. I mean, like, you have different files. No. Where you are, see location? Not where you are in Jenkins. Say pwd. Okay. Triggering type. Now, what I told, always use this best thing: cron tab guru. So let's say every 5 minutes, right? Let's say I want to go with hour slash 15. At 15th minute. So let's say you want something like star every minute. Yes, every minute for 5 stars. That's what I kept there actually there. So every 15 minutes is something like this one, I guess. 15. Yeah. 8 minute 15. This is how it works. Every 15 minutes it will work. And if I change something now from Love Jenkins, let's say I'll go to this file and let me do the edit again. And let me put something like love which, and I'll say and I'm committing the changes. After one particular minute, the site would be up and running automatically. So not only like this, you can make the triggers for any particular change you want. That's what I'm trying to say. You can schedule jobs based upon your times. You might be getting that in from cache. Try in your incognito mode. You see login. It automatically changed. No, no, not here. Copy the IP. Okay, you did not keep the trigger. Fine. So basically that works on the concept of build triggers. Okay. So this is what you generally do, but there is another way where you can say like this is like running for every 1 minute, right? So in real time they will keep like around every day at 3 p.m., every day at 4 p.m. Basically one specific time, and they keep on running. If not, let's say you are on major bug fixes, they will keep on for every git push. So whenever there is a push happening, automatically the build starts. You can either go in that way or in this particular way. If it is very small projects or let's say very little number of developers, then you generally go with the GitHub web triggers. I'll show that one. If you're having large scale integrations happening, right, that is where you keep something like poll SCM. So like if you go for my build triggers, right, here you see uh, you got like multiple options. A trigger builds remotely. This is nothing but remotely you can build the triggers actually. Now let's say you are in particular home, you want to run this build from there. With the help of scripts, you can run that. And there is something called like build after other projects are built. This is generally used in your pipeline setup. We talked about that pipeline, right? That is where we use that pipeline. Then there is build periodically according to some cron scheduler. Every specific minute or every particular 5-10 minutes you are going to run the job. Then it says a webhook trigger. So webhook trigger is something like I told you, right? Whenever a developer makes a change and he pushes the change to GitHub, that is when build starts. That is one kind of build. And there is something called like poll SCM. This is what you generally see in the organizations. They'll keep the poll changes. So they'll make up all the changes till 3 p.m. and at that 3 p.m. the build starts. So whatever the push that happened at last 3 p.m., all the pushes will be gathered. It starts building them. So this is all you need for your build triggers. Now you understood, right? I mean, like what we did was like a very little bit of automation here actually. So just like a static website. So whenever the change is happening in your static website, you are getting them, you are starting the changes, and you are directly going and seeing it in live. I mean, like now, let's say if you are working on any static websites, you don't need to bother about deploying it every time. Jenkins will automatically deploy it for you whenever there is a change happening. Right? Making sense? Right? That's how you can go and basically set up this particular aspect. Right? Tomorrow we'll see the same thing with your Java based applications. And we'll try to go with the next type of build trigger, something like git webhook trigger. Right? I'll show you that tomorrow. And apart from this, now one more thing you need to observe here is, okay, tomorrow I'll talk about it. It takes some time actually. So we did not have any security here. Tomorrow I'll talk about the security features of Jenkins. right? Because here currently you see, if I create one more, currently this user is admin actually, right? Let's say I'll log in and I'll create one more user. Let's say manage Jenkins, and if you go to manage Jenkins, you have something like manage users, and I'll say create a user. Let's say something like developer one. I'm creating a user called developer one, and I'll give the same password. Same password. Let's say he's developer one, and some email ID. Let's say dev1 at gmail.com. Right? And I created this user. Now you have like your developer one, right? Now what I'll do is like I'll log out and I'll log in like your developer one. You see, now even I can do everything. I can go and which is dangerous, right? So generally we need to have some access control, which is very important aspect of the Jenkins security. So this there is something like tomorrow we'll talk about the plugins as well, how to work with plugins. Now by default I don't have any particular kind of what do you say authentication by default here. I mean like let's say for specific type of users you need to have this kind of access. For specific users you need to have this kind of access. Tomorrow we'll go and see all those particular options. Right? So I'll log out. Right? I think today's class is clear, right? Why we are using this particular Jenkins. I mean like today we'll see like very little bit of automation. Where let's say if you have any static website and you want to automate it, this is how you do it, as simple as such. And we'll work with the dynamic applications tomorrow. Right? So I'll stop it here.